Very good day to everyone who's joined us for today's session. The topic for today's webinar is reliability automation. And we're going to be taking a look at AI, ML, and dynamic workflows and how they can be leveraged for better incident management. All right, a quick round of introductions. I'm joined today by Raghu Chinnanan, who's a director of product management at Squadcast, and Vijay Subramanian, who's a technical solutions engineer at Squadcast. And my name is Rahul. I'm a PMM at Squadcast, and I'll be your host for today's session. And a quick overview of the agenda as well. So today we'll start off by just discussing the state of incident management in 2024 and where adoption of AI and automation stand. We'll also then dive into how Squadcast reliability automation helps response teams, and followed by a quick overview of key intelligent features in Squadcast. Then we'll have a live demo of these features and a Q&A round to wrap things up. A few housekeeping notes before we get started. At any time, feel free to drop any of your questions in the Q&A panel. We'll try and answer as many live, or we'll definitely get to them at the end of the webinar. We'd also love to hear your thoughts at any time, so please feel free to add your comments in chat as well. All right, to get started, let's take a look at using AI, ML, and automation and how functional enhancements are possible in incident management. Now, with where the industry is right now, here are some facts, right? So, as per a report by IBM, 84% of IT leaders see AI and automation as vital to incident response, and reportedly 71% plan to increase investments in 2025. Now, even though this indicates a fairly, increasing, growing interest rather in implementing AI and automation within this domain, only 26% of businesses who've done this are actually realizing the value as per BCG. So clearly, we're still at a very, initial stage of this advancement, and we'll see the space mature a lot more in the coming years. And finally, as per a report by National University, California, the expected contribution to the global economy by AI is expected to grow to over 15 billion US dollars by 2030. And just in 2024, we are expecting to close with a 33% annual increase as well. Right. So moving on, let's take a look at some of the common applications of reliability automation that we're seeing within this domain. So workflow orchestration is a fairly established use case. So automating workflows across systems can help cut a lot of the manual steps. It also allows teams to standardize actions for faster response, and it also helps in integrating various tools with your monitoring layer as well. Intelligent automation, typically an algorithm that automates routine tasks without manual intervention, helps teams to classify and prioritize incidents automatically, as well as auto-resolve routine issues to reduce manual workloads as well. This also allows you to learn from past incidents and optimize your response protocols. Data correlation is also another vital application. It allows you to aggregate alerts for a unified view of all your incidents and also group related events so that the noise and the alert fatigue on your teams can be minimized. And this also overall helps in speeding up root cause analysis by pinpointing the actual reason behind outages. Predictive analysis, a fairly new application in this particular domain. So with this, what automation does is it allows you to detect patterns to prevent incidents and also forecast resource needs to avoid bottlenecks, especially during predictable peak times as well. And this also lets you identify weak points for proactive fixes as well. Now, we'd love to hear from everybody who's attending today. Do you see an increased use of AI in your workflows in the near future? You should be seeing a poll window pop up on your screens. So the options are yes, no, not significantly, and the third option being too early to decide. Right, we're just going to wait for a minute for people to select their options. All right, so it looks like 86% of you see that, yes, definitely there is going to be an increased use of AI in your workflows. And 14% are of the opinion that it's too early to decide, which is also quite fair. All right. So now that we've covered the common applications of AI within this space, let's just take a look at modern incident management and the need for intelligent solutions. So we'll kick off by covering some of the common challenges that are faced by teams that can be addressed by reliability automation. So I'd like to invite Raghu here, who will walk us through some of these challenges. Over to you, Raghu.
Thank you, Rahul. So let's face it, right? Incident management is hard, right? Anybody who has went on call has told you, right? Whenever there's a critical incident, it's always challenging. Add to that, right? So a lot of times you're faced with duplicate alerts, or you get alerted for unnecessary. At the middle of the night, you get alerted and it turns out to not a very critical issue. Or somebody else might be handling an issue and you duplicate alerts get created, and as a round robin escalation or something, you get notified at the middle of the alert. So this causes alert fatigue, and people tend to miss important incidents. Apart from it, right, even with all these advanced tools today, still a lot of incident management processes are manual, right? There's like many procedural steps. It might be different in different organizations, but believe me, every organization has a lot of manual steps. It could be as simple as sending for a even critical incident. The SLA might be like within 10 minutes, you have to send an acknowledgement email in a specific format to all the stakeholders. So different organizations has different manual workloads, which could be automated. And also, right, these manual steps not only delays actually responding to the incidents, right? Rather than focusing on the incident, it follows these procedural steps, and causing the resource strain where valuable on-call resources time is utilized on doing these procedural things, which could be automated, right? That's basically toil, right? It could be as simple as creating a sending an acknowledgement email, or creating a meeting bridge, or creating a dedicated Slack channel, right? All these things can be automated. Over the years, Squadcast has built a lot of automation features, automation rules, where people can, for example, we have created tagging rules for alert enrichment. Similarly, deduplication and suppression rules to reduce alert noise. But even those things require certain manual configuration. So we have started building more features, using AI and ML to automate certain noise reduction strategies. And also, right, to provide relevant context to the incidents. One of the features that I want to go through is, right, incident summaries. So incident summaries is a GenAI-based feature which we have launched recently. Different folks join at a different time, right? And they might not have the context about what is the incident, what happened so far, what are the actions taken so far. So they might have to, work through the incident note history. They have to look at the incident activity timeline, and they might have to go through the Slack channel, or the Microsoft Teams channel, or get update from somebody, right? During the chaos of the incident, it might not always be feasible. So we created this, GenAI-based incident summary feature where anybody, it could be stakeholders or on-call responders. They can come and look at an incident and click, do a one-click incident summary generation. It will show what is the incident, what has happened, what are the resolution steps. It will show a clean, nice history in a structured format to give a quick understanding of the incident status. So thereby, reducing the time taken to, understand the incident status. The next feature I want to discuss is Pause Transient Alerts, right? A lot of times, right, you might get alerted by the time you log in and check the incident, it might have been already resolved. It could be transient alerts, or it could be a flapping use case, or it might be like a very temporary, rise or peak usage or load of your system, right? So these transient alerts also cause a lot of alert notifications, causing alert fatigue. So this is another ML-based feature which we have launched. You can simply enable it with a single click of a button, right? For a service, you can simply enable it. Our system will automatically, based on the past transit detection, it will show you a recommended time window, or you can set 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes according to the usual duration of your transient alerts. And what will happen is, whenever these transit alerts are detected by our system, it will trigger the incident, but it will keep it in the suppressed state. It will wait till that predetermined, transit window, and to see if the incident gets resolved or not. If it doesn't get resolved, then it gets triggered and it goes to the normal escalation flow. If not, it automatically, if it gets resolved, then you don't get notified for those kind of incidents. So thereby reducing alert noise and your valuable time. And the next feature is also another noise reduction feature, which is intelligent alert grouping. So initially I mentioned about deduplication rules. Deduplication rules, when you set up deduplication rules, then those alerts will automatically group. You won't get notifications for duplicate incidents. But even then, in order to configure deduplication rules, you need to understand what are the kind of alerts that you are regularly getting, and then you have to configure those rules, right? For different alert types, you have to, or based on the field types, you have to configure those deduplication rules. That's also some manual steps involved, right? So the easiest way to quickly enable grouping, automatic grouping in our system is intelligent alert grouping. It's another machine learning based feature where so you can select a time duration. It's a rolling time window, and you can enable intelligent alert grouping. Our system will look at a certain predetermined factors such as incident title, description, certain parameters in the payload, the alert source, and all that, and it will automatically try to group those incidents within that rolling time window. And both APTA, right, auto Pause Transient Alerts and intelligent alert grouping comes up with adaptive algorithm and the feedback mechanism for transient alerts. So if you think an incident has to be marked as transient, there is an option to mark it as transient, and the algorithm learns it, and from the next time it automatically tries to mark those incidents as transient. Similarly, for incident alert grouping also, right, there is like you can upvote an incident and reaffirm that it is actually a duplicate incident. Or you can download it and say, okay, this group alert is actually a separate incident. And the system learns it, and from the next time it tries to create it as a separate incident. Apart from it, there is also another explicit mechanism. If you are manually merging incidents, the system identifies, if the user has manually merged these incidents, then these are actually duplicate incidents, which can be grouped, and it tries to learn and tries to automate these actions from next time. So the next feature that I want to discuss is past incidents. So this is also another, ML-based incident where it looks at again certain parameters of the incidents and see what are the previous occurrence of the incidents, right? Because it's not like every incident is unique. We keep seeing the same incident happen over time again and again, right? So this past incidents, it looks at those fields and tries to identify in a certain duration what are the previous occurrence of this incident, how many times it has occurred in a specific day, and it tries to put it in a nice heat map. So this heat map, right, will give us the trends of the incident, which will help. Okay, what are the times it usually this kind of incident occurs? We can try to identify the root cause and fix it. Not just that, right? It's not the same engineer who will be on call all the time, right? So there might be a different engineer, on-call engineer, who's on call. They might not know that incident has occurred. They can look at it. They can look at the previous incident, and they can look at the resolution steps. They can look at what kind of runbooks were attached, and they can try to follow those same steps and resolve this incident quicker instead of doing everything from scratch. So this also eliminates time to do some research, and it will try to reduce your time to TTR. And then we also have workflows and automation rules. Initially, when I mentioned, right, there is like a lot of manual steps that could be automated. We mentioned about automation rules for alert enrichment and deduplication, suppression. We also have another nice feature called workflows. So workflows, you can configure workflows for doing different stages of incident, right? Your workflow can be triggered whenever, as soon as an incident gets triggered, or when somebody acknowledges it, or somebody reassigns it, or even if it gets resolved. If you want to automate certain actions, you can do it. So workflows automates a lot of actions within Squadcast as well as external tools such as Slack, Microsoft Teams, Jira. You can set up your trigger conditions. You can set it to execute for every incident in the platform, or like very set of specific incidents. So that you can apply filters for which service, what alerts, what should be the tag of the incident, because tags can be configured based on a specific payload field value. So you can configure all this in workflows. And then you can automate these actions, right? It could be as simple as I mentioned, creating a Slack channel for a P1 critical incident, or like automatically creating a Jira meeting link, Microsoft Teams meeting link as soon as a critical incident gets created, or creating a Jira ticket, or adding an incident note, or like tagging a responder. So a lot of actions within Squadcast itself can be automated, as well as actions outside of Squadcast. And also, right, initially I mentioned an example use case where the procedure step of sending an acknowledgement email within 10 minutes of a critical incident, right? Even sending an email that could be automated to all the stakeholders, right? So that way, right, all these procedural steps and actions can be automated, and on-call resources can directly jump into triaging the incident rather than focusing on doing these manual steps. So that covers the most of the recent, AI and automation and reliability features that we have launched. Apart from this, right, Squadcast also has, service level objectives. Certain companies measure service level objectives directly from their alerts monitoring tool. What we have tried to do is, based on incidents, we try to reduce alert sources, error budgets, and it can be manually achieved, or again with workflows, you can automatically mark if this condition matches, then automatically deduct the time taken to resolve this incident from my error budget, right? That could be automated. Our Squadcast also has, service graphs and, service catalogs where it will give you a over, nice health board view of your services and your dependent services. If a certain service got affected, you can see it in a nice visual way, which other services are also, affected. Then you can automate certain things with workflows, and you can actually attach runbooks, right? The collective knowledge of the company can be created in runbooks. Those runbooks can be manually searched and attached during an incident, or it could be again automatically attached using workflows. And then during an incident, right, we have also our inbuilt status pages, which helps with the transparency, where you can update the status of the incident to your end customers using our status pages, and they can be updated, right? Rather than them reaching out to your support team, right? Proactively, they can be notified using status pages, and the resolution, expected resolution timeline, as well as the resolution reason. Everything can be updated. Even our maintenance windows can be communicated via our status pages. Then post-incident resolution, you can automatically create a postmortem in Squadcast. You can customize the template of the postmortem, and all the activity timeline fields and the relevant data, the additional responders, everything will be automatically captured based on the template you have created. So helping you create your postmortem or retrospectives quickly, right? So that way, providing the complete reliability automation platform. Provides a complete reliability automation platform, hopefully, which will help you cope up with the stress of the incident during critical incidents. So now I invite my colleague Vijay to demo some of these pages. Over to you, Vijay.
Thank you, Raghu, for that nice introduction of the features. So let me start sharing my screen and walk you through the different features that Raghu did mention right now. So what you're seeing right here is the landing page of a platform, or the dashboard, so to say. To begin with, we're going to discuss something called as the incident summary, right? So I'm just navigating to the incident list page. So where you will be able to see the list of incidents that have come in. As mentioned earlier, there might be different on-call engineers who are, just coming onto the platform, and they'll be going through the different incidents that are there on the incident list page. And you might wonder what's the progress so far, what is the state of the incident, right? So to understand that, you might have to go through, all the nodes. You might have to communicate on the internal communication channel that you have, maybe Slacks or Team. But just to get the quick insight and catch up with what's been happening so far with the incidents, that's when an incident summary feature comes into the picture. It's a one-click button. When you click on that, it gives you a quick summary, or a quick overview of what has been happened so far on the incident. So what is the status? Who are the people who are triaging, working on the resolution, and what are the actions that has been taken so far to find out a solution. So that is what neatly put in the incident summary button here. So once you find out and you catch up with all the progress that has been made, in case this summary has some discrepancy with what has actually happened, the summary is not accurate, you will also be able to give feedback by thumbs up or a thumbs down button as well. Since this is in the beta stage, we allow you to give the feedback so that this keeps improving its incident summary, since it's an AI feature. When you give a thumbs down, it also allows you to give a written feedback. This way we will be able to understand better how we can improve it further. So that is about incident summary. The next that we're going to see here and talk about is APTA, or also called as Pause Transient Alerts. By the name suggests, it automatically pauses transient alerts. So how do we add that? So we will be navigating through services. So services in Squadcast are a functional unit of your application that you're monitoring using the monitoring tools. So when you create a service, you will be able to enable APTA. And what exactly APTA here is, or we can go a little further and ask, what are transient alerts? So transient alerts or any alert that automatically resolve itself, in a short period of time. We also call it as flapping alerts. This can happen due to various reasons. One might be due to 5x's responses on your end, or there is an error in the service. So when that happens, there will be a short spike, which might automatically resolve on its own with a short period of time. uh, Typically, the time mode window is something that you can set, but the system will also generate and recommend you a time mode window. It may be 5 minutes or 2 minutes based on the previous transient alerts that has come into the platform. So once you set this time mode window, what happens next? So APTA detects any transient alerts that comes onto the platform and suppresses it, right? So once it is suppressed, it checks whether this alert is getting auto resolved within the time mode window that you specify here, or it does not get auto resolve within the stipulated time. If it does not get auto resolve, it will re-trigger or trigger that alert into Squadcast as an incident, which will in turn notify the agents and users to take action on those actionable alert. Even during the state where the alert is in the suppressed state, you will be able to manually go ahead and check if it's an actionable alert or not. If it's an actionable alert, you will be able to trigger the incident as well. Now, there are some instances where it will be a transient alert, but after might have missed it. So how do we make the system more, how do we make it understand that this is also a transient alert? So we do have an option to mark a transient alert. If it has been missed, we can mark it as a transient alert. So next time, the system will understand that this is a transient alert, and hence we will suppress it for the time mode window and see whether it gets auto resolved or not. Right. So how does APTA does it? It uses the data science techniques and the ML technique to understand the transient alerts and reduce the alert noise. So what it ideally does is not only reduces alert noise, it also notifies the user only for the actionable alert, so that the agents and the users can work on the alerts that actually matters and resolve that incident. So if only we can pause notifications for the transient alert, will that only help? You might have that question. So will that help in reducing the alert noise? Maybe, but we also have another option or a feature, right, to reduce alert noises when there are similar alerts that are coming into the platform. You don't want your agents or users to get bombarded with a lot of notification for the same or a similar incident that are coming into the platform, right? So to avoid that, that is where we introduce intelligent alert grouping. That is an ML powered feature where it groups all the similar incidents together and notify only for the first time it's getting triggered onto the platform. Even here, you will be able to set the grouping window, which IAG or intelligent alert grouping will check for all the similar alerts that are coming into the system and group them together. So how does it look on the platform? We have a visual representation of that here with an icon which says auto grouped. When I click on the incident, I will be able to see all the list of alerts that has been grouped together. And how does IAG is able to do it? So IAG takes certain values or aspects of the alert into consideration to see or check whether these are similar alerts or not. So it checks for the alert title, alert source, created date and time and tags. So based on these aspects of the alert, our IAG will be able to group these alerts and say these are similar alerts and hence notify just once the first time, right? And there can be some discrepancy where it's not a similar alert, and you want to trigger it as an incident and notify people. When that happens, we do have the same feedback mechanism to the IAG here with a thumbs up and a thumbs down option. So with a thumbs up, the system will understand, all right, so these are all the similar alerts and we have grouped it correctly. And with the thumbs down, it will understand, okay, this is a little different from what it has grouped earlier. So from the next time onwards, it will understand better and notify you accordingly. This again will reduce the alert noise. So the engineers can actually work on the actionable alert and not get distracted by all the similar alerts that are coming into the system. So we talked about how we can reduce alert noises so far through by automatically pausing the transient alerts and also by grouping the similar alerts. Of course, this is going to reduce the alert noise. But will this alone improve in the resolution of the issue that we are facing? Yes, but how can we speed it up? So that is where the past incident option comes into the picture. So we do have past incident feature in place, which will tell you not just the frequency of these incident that has come in the past 6 months, 3 months, last 7 days, and so on, but it also tells you the frequency of these incidents, at what frequency these incidents are coming at each date or each week, and so on, which is visually represented through this heat map. As you can see here, the lighter colors displays very less number of incident, and the darker colors displays the high frequency of the same incident that has come in the past. But how does it improve or help us in resolving the incident? So when you scroll a little deeper, you will find all the past incidents that has come, and these are all the resolved incidents also. So when you click on one such incident, you will be able to check the conversation that has happened on the system for resolving the incident. You will also be able to check the steps that they have taken to resolve the incident, so or the remedial action that they have taken through the run books. So this will give you the exact steps to follow in order to find out a solution for the incoming incident and resolve the incident quicker. Again, like Raghu mentioned earlier while explaining about past incident, uh, last time there might be another on-call engineer who would have worked on this incident and resolved it, and he would have added the run books. So the next time when I come in, instead of me looking, trying to find out a solution on my own, if I'm able to check the notes and the run books, it'll be easier for me to quickly jump on to the remedial action and resolve the incident quicker. So this way, the service will not get interrupted, and the end user experience is not getting disturbed. So this way, we will be able to not just reduce alert noises, but also speed up the remedial action and resolve an incident when it's triggered into Squadcast. So these are the features that we wanted to, the AI and ML powered features that we wanted to discuss today on the call. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll hand it over to Rahul now and open the floor for questions. Thank you, Rahul.
All right. Thanks, Vijay. Okay, I hope that was an interesting demo for everyone who's attended, and hopefully you were able to get some value from the rundown of these features. Okay, so now we are in the Q&A segment. So the Q&A panel is open and you can access it at the bottom of your screen. So please feel free to post any questions you have for us today. Okay, there are a couple of questions already. So I think the first one is about intelligent alert grouping. How does this grouping handle false positives or unrelated alerts? I think Raghu, you can probably take this one.
Yeah, I will take this. I think I have talked about it briefly, and also Vijay has shown the feedback mechanism where people can provide a thumbs up for positive reinforcement or like a thumbs down to give negative feedback. So the system learns and improves. Not just that, right? I also mentioned, right, when you manually merge incidents, that's also another explicit feedback for the system to understand these are related incidents. So that's how we can handle alert grouping. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Raghu. I hope that answers your question. Okay, we have another one from Manirul. Manirul asks how LLM can help in incident management.
Yeah. So using LLM for incident management is little tricky because, as you know, right, LLMs tends to hallucinate if they don't have enough information. So we don't want to put LLM everywhere. So the only feature where we have used LLM, a large language model, is for incident summaries, where we provide enough context and we try to pass enough instructions, and we have have a fine-tuned model where we configure it to provide only the incident summary based on the information that is available. So, and also, right, we are thinking about few other features that we are planning where it could be like, suggesting responders or, suggesting runbooks. So those are instance ideas that we are planning for future implementation. But we don't want to, overdo or use LLMs a lot in the platform, at least until they mature, right? We just wanted to only use the right amount.
Great. Thanks, Raghu. Okay, we have a couple of questions about Gen AI as well. So,
Yeah, so let me.
yeah, there's another question. A lot of Gen AI words tend to be inaccurate, with it being unable to differentiate between accurate and false information. How does Squadcast ensure accuracy and context?
So again, so I think I pretty much covered a part of the problem, right? The Gen AI tends to be LLMs tend to be inaccurate and they tend to hallucinate information. So that's why we are not using it everywhere, right? Only the only Gen AI feature that we use is for incident summaries, where we have fine-tuned the model and where we provide relevant information. And for example, if you generate an incident summary, and if there is no material changes, right? If you generally feed the same question to the LLM again, they tend to hallucinate. Whereas we have some checks and balances in our system. If there isn't any material changes to the incident, we don't actually, re-ask the question to the, even when you click on generate summaries, we tend to provide the same cast answer instead of re-asking the LLM. If you keep repeating the same question, right? LLM tends to always. So there are some checks and balance that we have implemented in the system to reduce inaccurate information. But to be honest, right, there is always the small element of inaccurate answers there that LLMs tends to have, Gen AI generally have. So we have to keep in mind while using Gen AI features. That's why any feature that uses Gen AI, we have that twinkling star, and we also provided that the feature uses generative AI and all the disclaimers are there. But we have taken whatever steps that we can do from our end to minimize inaccuracies. I think I see another question from Manirul Halder about how to reduce MTTR. Let me answer that as well.
I think that question is in two parts, Raghu. So I think he needs to ask how to reduce MTTR using AI, LLM, or Gen AI.
Yeah, so I think it's not like a straightforward answer, right? So one is right, providing important context to users quickly, right? Rather than going through all the chats and incident notes, looking at what are the steps taken so far, right? So Gen AI can help you quickly provide the relevant context whenever, even if you join late during the incident flow, you can quickly get the relevant context and get started. Apart from it, right? Also, right, as it reduces alert noise, you don't need to work through all the duplicate incidents. So thereby, basically, it's saving your time, your wasted time, and also, right, not just in AI, our workflows, it can automate a lot of manual steps, right? All these things, right? If it takes usually 10 minutes for you to get on a bridge, our system can save that initial valuable 10 to 15 minutes, where you can immediately jump on the call, have the relevant context. So that way, right? If it takes another 10 minutes for the resolution incident, without these automation and AI features, it will take, let's say, 25 minutes, 10 minutes for the procedural steps, 15 minutes for the resolution, right? While we eliminate these 10 minutes of procedural steps, that reduces, and only you take 15 minutes to resolve the incident. So that reduces your MTTR from 25 minutes to 15 minutes, right? So that's one way. Other ways, to have runbooks in our platform, which will also help you, are like using past incidents instead of doing research from scratch, right? You look at what did we do last time the same incident happened. You simply quickly follow those incidents. That also reduce your time taken to do the research and figure out answers, right? So that's another way that.
All right.
So
Thanks, Raghu. I think we have a couple of questions. Vijay, probably you can answer this about pricing plans and the learning curve. So, is this functionality available for all plans? And there's another one about the learning curve for teams to adopt these automated features. Vijay, do you want to take this?
Sure. So when it comes to when we talk about the learning curve, right? So you might have seen the short demo that we just showed you. The platform, the beauty of Squadcast is is how intuitive it is. Let's talk about the couple of features that we discussed on the call today. So, for example, in case of incident summaries, all we have to do is click on the incident that has been triggered, and there's just one click button which says generate summaries, and you'll be able to get an insight, a quick insight of what has happened so far on the incident, right? On a similar phase, be it APTA or IAG, we just have to toggle it on, and we will be able to automatically pause transient alerts without configuring much, or we will be able to group similar alerts together. We don't have to say which are all the similar alerts in the first place, right? So the system is built in a way or designed in a way that helps you to reduce alert noises and understand and configure things on the platform with just a click of a button. So that's the beauty of the platform. But apart from the features that we discussed today, Squadcast as a platform, when you compare with other platforms in the market, the learning curve is much shorter. Once you are we train you through the features and the entities that we have on the platform, you will be able to grasp that very quickly, and you can get it up and running as quick as possible. So that's what I wanted to answer for the learning curve. And when it comes to the pricing plan, uh, just give me 1 second. I don't see the question now. Okay, so when it comes to the pricing plan, we do have different price and plans in place. So the AI and the automation features that we saw today, it will be will be starting from the premium and the enterprise plans that we have today on the platforms, and that will vary based on your requirement. We will get on a call with you, understand your requirement, and based on the requirement, we will be able to give you the right solution, and the pricing plan comes later following that.
Great. Thanks, Vijay. I hope that answers the two questions. I think there's one more that you can possibly answer, Vijay. Is it possible to customize alert groupings or summaries to fit unique workflows?
Okay. So in terms of grouping or alerts, based on summaries, it doesn't work exactly on that, like how it's been asked. But what you can do is, this again was explained briefly on the call today, where we have workflows in place which can be triggered based on when an incident is being triggered, when an incident is being resolved, when an incident is being acknowledged. So these are the trigger conditions. But when does an action needs to be taken place, right? So that we can actually group it. Example, so do we have to check these trigger conditions for all the alerts that are coming into the system? Or does it have to be specific to a specific alert source or a monitoring tool that we have configured onto the platform? Or does it have to be triggered only for a certain set of tags, right? So this way we will be able to group, the workflow action, the workflow triggers, based on which you can create your own action on Squadcast. Those are varying from different things, like You can update the priorities based on the trigger condition that you have set, or you can send out an email from Squadcast, based on the trigger conditions that you have set. It doesn't just restrict with Squadcast. You can also have the actions completed on the external communication tools like Slack, Microsoft Teams, even Jira as well. So we can talk in detail about it. If you're interested, we can always get on a call, and we can walk you through that in detail.
Amazing. Thanks, Vijay. I think there was one more that I missed, and the question is about the risk. I think this is partly covered already, Raghu, but maybe you can shed some more light on this. So,
I
what
think
risks do you see in over automating incident workflows?
So what risk do you see in over automating incident workflows? I am a big proponent of automation, so I wouldn't say there is no such thing as over automation. But however, there are some caveats, right? You can so when it comes to toil, right? When it comes to non-trivial trivial things that could be automated, we should automate it, right? As much as possible, we should automate these trivial things, so that way we can focus on the core problems which requires manual attention. So I'm a big pull of automation, but yeah, the non-trivial things we should automate it. Right, even those trivial things that could be automated, right? You can't set it and forget about it. As your process evolves, you have to revisit it. You can't be complacent, and you have to update these things. That's the only caveat I would say about automation. But yeah, apart from it, I'm a big proponent of automation. So there's no such thing as over automation in my book.
Great. Thanks, Raghu. All right. I hope that answers your question as well. I believe those are all the questions we have for today. Okay, I think that brings us to the end of today's session. So, in closing, I'll just go over the key takeaways really quickly. So, there's a global interest in implementing AI and automation in incident management, although it's still at a fairly early stage. Functional applications of AI and automation include workflow orchestration, intelligent automation, data correlation, and aggregation, as well as there is a significant use of Gen AI to automate incident summaries and the use of ML and data correlation, apologies for the typo there, to generate valuable insights, heat maps, and pause transient alerts also proves to be helpful for a lot of teams. Using custom rules allows teams to route and group incidents without manual intervention as well. And finally, Squadcast offers a unified platform for on-call management and incident response. And if anyone's interested in finding out more about the product itself or just has questions about different capabilities, feel free to reach out to us. You can navigate to squadcast.com and contact us through there. So once again, thanks to everybody who's joined us today, and we hope that this session you were able to get some value out of this session today. Thanks once again. Good day, everyone.